Hello, hi. So we are at Planet Organic. We are, and I'm here. I'm Joe Bains, comedy, and I'm interviewing Ram, who is an expert with flow. So I don't even know what flow is, but we're going to find out. So this is Ram. Ram, do you want to tell us about yourself? Where are you from?
Okay, yeah. Well, actually, I grew up in Canada, and I went to university there, and I did my PhD at Stanford, and then I've lived in London the past 20 years. So yes, and so I found flow has been a key thing in my life, because flow is actually a process where you're sort of in the deep now, where you're really absorbed with what you're doing, and so for example, you can get flow in sports. For example, every time you have peak performance in sports, that's an example of flow. You can also get flow when you're really deeply absorbed in work, and when you're in flow at work, you're 5 times more productive than when you're just in your normal state. So really, flow is a state, and also what they've also shown is that the people with the most flow in their lives are the happiest. So flow not only makes you happy, but also makes you really productive and allows you to perform at your peak. So it's really an important concept.
And so, if for the viewers at home, how do you get into flow? What do you do to get into flow?
Yeah, you need to have something like a task that you enjoy, that's absorbing, and that helps you sort of get into flow. And once you start the process, then you get deep into something that's challenging enough that keeps you absorbed for a sustained period of time, maybe 10 minutes, half an hour. And what happens when you're in flow is that time seems to disappear. So for example, you might think it's only like 10, 15 minutes, then you may find 2 hours have gone by. Let's say like you really get into writing, or programming is an example of where people get into flow. Sometimes you could code for like 12, 15 hours and get more done in that time than you would do in months. So it's really about getting really deeply absorbed. And it's something that you can learn if you know how to flow in one aspect of your life. For example, in sport, you then apply the same concept to work and to all the different aspects of your life.
And do you use flow in your everyday life on a regular basis?
Yes, I do. Yes, one of the ways I develop flow is I do a lot of meditation and yoga, and so in meditation, one of the ideas is to get into flow, where again you're sort of absorbed. You're not thinking. You sort of shut off the prefrontal cortex that has all your inner critic, and and the other aspect, I use it when I work. And so what I do is let's say I want to write a book. One of the things I did with my friend was we decided, let's write a book in a weekend. And so what you do is you actually set up everything. So we have all our food, all our things handled, and we just basically start concentrating. We're going to spend 13, 14 hours a day just in flow. It will move around and stuff, but we'll have an intention and we just follow through with it. So it allows you to really produce a lot of things in a much smaller time. Mostly I've thought about writing books for years and years, but if you focus, you can actually do it in a weekend. Okay,
so have you got any plan to set up any weekend workshops on writing books or boot camps or whatever?
Yes, that's one of the things. Yes, I have a number of workshops coming up about getting to flow. One of them is actually to do like a weekend boot camp. And what's interesting is once you're actually in it, people then realize, I can work for a long period of time, and having other people is also a good motivation. Because sometimes it's hard to be motivated if you're just by yourself, but having a group energy is also helpful. And there's also a thing, you can also get into a group flow, and that's another area that people are studying of how you get into team flow and how your team produce more effortlessly. You could produce 3 times or more than you could just if you're not in sync and in flow.
Okay. And so one of the questions I ask is always what three things, not just in flow, but in what you found in your life.
Yes.
What 3 tips or 3 things make for a successful life? What 3 things allow you to be successful?
Yes. First of all, you get what you focus on. So it's very important that you focus on the things that are meaningful to you, not on trivialities. It's very easy now to get caught up in all these trivial things, where you really need to focus on the important things and the things that are meaningful to you and direct your intention and energy there. then you'll get a lot of things done, and you'll feel your life is moving in a direction which you enjoy and which you're happy with. That's one thing, is focus. The other thing is really learning to really be comfortable with yourself. Not let other people, you have to be comfortable, and not just let other people dictate what you do. A lot of our preferences that we have are actually a result of the way we grew up. A lot of our preferences in terms of food, and even maybe the people we're attracted to, a lot of it is not our own preference. It's what's been dictated by other people. But as you sort of go through the process of meditation and self-development, you start to understand what's important to you, and it's okay. You don't have to do what everyone else does. You have to do what makes you understand the things that make you happy, and you go for them regardless of what other people say. That's another key thing, I think.
Okay, and the third one is?
And one final takeaway, I would say you just have to follow through. And I think that's one of the things, especially nowadays, that people you don't actually follow through. People try lots of different things, yet they never follow through. To become, really good at it, and really something you need to put, like Malcolm Gladwell has his 10,000 hour rule. And with flow, you could possibly reduce it to 5,000 or even less. But you need to commit to something and do a few things, not a lot of things, but a few things you need to commit to in the long term. Be it a relationship, be it the kind of work you do, be it something a hobby or some activity you're passionate about. For me, the things I've concentrated a lot on, I've done yoga for 25 years, I've done taekwondo for 15 years, and I've done that continuously, and that's made a huge difference, because those I've really made a lot of progress. If you stop and start, you'll never get anywhere.
Okay, all right, brilliant. Well, thank you very much. So now you guys know about flow. Any questions, put it at the bottom below. And thank you, and we'll do something else next time. Thank you.